I said I probably wouldn't do another video again, so here it is. Here's the video that I wasn't going to do. I've had requests to do some more, so I thought I'll go on then. I don't like to let down my friends. But there was something I was thinking of, because I can never really think of things to say, to be honest with you, but there was something I was thinking of. And that was, you know how you've been to an assembly, you know, the grand boasting session, or you've been to a special talk, or you've been to the meeting in general. Why is it that everybody always says, oh, that was a fantastic talk, I enjoyed that, and then you say, well, what did you enjoy from it? They haven't a clue. They don't know what they've enjoyed from it. It's most bizarre. And so I've been trying to cogitate and think about that, and what is it? What was it that made them say that in the first place? Well, I was thinking about Korea, when old King John Il, or whatever his name was, died, and you had all the Korean people there. They were mourning and moaning and crying their eyes out, weeping and wailing and moaning and a gnashing of teeth. And I was thinking to myself, well, maybe, just maybe they're not genuine. Maybe they're not genuine that they feel all this remorse that Kim Jong-il's dead, but they have to pretend. It's a pretense. They have to pretend, otherwise, if they don't look sad enough, they will suffer reprisals. So I'm not making a political statement. I'm not saying whether, just making sound effects there, I'm not saying whether this bloke from Korea was a good bloke or a bad bloke. That's not my judgment. I'm just making a comparison. Might be a logical fallacy, I don't know. What is it about the talks and the assemblies? Why is the assembly always the best one? It was the best one yet, better than the one before that, which was, strangely enough, better than the one before that. All I can think of is, you know, 10 assemblies ago, the quality must have been bloody awful. Either that, or somebody's deluding themselves. And I was thinking, well, it's because there's no real content other than commands and doctrines that are ridiculous, like overlapping, and watchtowerisms, watchtower goggles. So they'll talk about it's always the Old Testament characters they talk about, never the New Testament characters. Well, rarely. Always the Old Testament characters. Somebody was a good example of something. Usually obedience. Usually women being obedient to men. You know, this chauvinistic idea, which is a complete load of old rhubarb. Made me think that the reason that people say that that was the best one, or the best talk, or what a great talk it was, because they want to be in the peer group. They want to be a good little cult member. They don't want to be seen as being outside or different, or a monster. They want to be a good little dubby. Well, that's what I think anyway. It's all to do with what group you're in, the social dynamic of that group, what reprisals there will be if you don't show your appreciation, what reprisals there will be, what guilt you'll be made to feel. Guilt, fear, phobia, uncertainty and doubt that will be in your mind if you don't say, well, that was the best thing yet. It isn't, because it's got no content. Some obscure Old Testament character being a good example of getting beaten up by your husband, Selma, until he comes into the truth. Trademark. Rubbish. Rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish. That's really just what I wanted to say. I'm sorry this has been a bit of a, I don't know, a bit of a rant. Not really much of a theme or structure to it. I'm just sort of thinking about these things as I go along. But you wanted another video. It's your fault. Your fault. Feel guilty. Guilt, fear and phobia. No, nothing like that. Nothing like that in the Watchtower. Let me know your thoughts. I'd like some video responses. I really would like to see that. That'd be nice. Nice to get a video response. Bat Matrix Reality 7, if you're out there, you can give a video response and allow comments. That would be nice, darling. But I won't hold my breath. Anyway, that was the best talk I heard since the last time. Is said because they want to be seen as being good in the cult and not an outcast. Because they feel they have to say it because of guilt, fear and phobia. Perhaps the speaker was animated. Maybe he used some good illustrations. But when you try and think about what practical use the talk had, some do, granted. But I would say 9 times out of 10, nah, nothing. It's just Watchtower, do more, guilt, fear, phobia. God's going to murder you soon! Because he's a vengeful God and he loves you so much that he wants to murder you soon because he loves you so much. He wants to love murdering you. He's a lovey-dovey God, Jehovah, trademark. Anyway, sleep well, darlings, and just remember, my American friends, while I'm making this, you're tucked up in bed asleep, dreaming of a paradise earth with a panda.